everyone. So I just got a comment from a viewer on YouTube, Duncan Cunningham, and he was asking me if I can preheat the car using power from the EVSE, from the charger, instead of power directly out of the battery. And I think he also asked if you could do that and have the car warm by a certain time of the day. And the answer is yes. There is a scheduler built into the car where you can tell it basically what time you want the car to be ready to go. And as long as you've got it plugged in, it will charge the car to 100% and have it at whatever temperature you set it to, whether it be heating or cooling, doesn't matter. It'll use the heater or the AC, and it will bring it to whatever temperature you want at that time. So for instance, my car is set for 6:30 and in the morning. So at 6:30 in the morning, it's going to make sure the car is fully charged and at I think I got it set to 22 degrees Celsius. So that's what it'll do. Now, one thing you need to know though is at 6:30 in the morning is when it's going to shut off. It's no longer going to heat or charge at 6:30. It's going to disconnect itself. It's ready to drive at 6:30. So you just need to know that. Okay. The time that it starts, the car will figure that out all on its own, depending on how low the battery is and whatever. It can figure that out, and it does a marvelous job. My car normally starts charging at like 4 in the morning for me to go to work at 6:30. But like I said, it really depends on the state of charge and everything else. Another little thing in the Ioniq, mine's a 2017, I cannot program it to only charge to a certain percentage. I know on the newer ones, the Konas and the E-Niro and the new Soul, you can tell it to only charge to a certain percentage, like a maximum of 80%. But on my car, the 2017 Ioniq Electric, you cannot do that. So now I'm going to go in the car and I will just quickly show you how the scheduler works. Okay, so now we're in the car and I will start it up and I will explain how the scheduler works.
This will go through the courts. Indeed, it will go through the courts.
Okay, so the car is on. As you can see, it's not fully charged. I've got 141 kilometers of range, and the car is currently at 9 degrees Celsius. It's not the warmest in the garage. So now I will show you the scheduler. So to do this scheduler, the car, first of all, it has to be on and it has to be in park. The car cannot be moving when you do this. So you can go here and you can push the EV button here or here. Makes no difference. It's all the same thing. Okay, let me just find an angle here so I don't get so much glare. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to go to charging and climate settings. And you have two schedules that you can set. Okay, now my heat's on, and I'm going to just turn it off because I'm making too much noise. But just to show you, see it's got that little clock right there? That means that this scheduler is active. So I'm just going to turn it off. Now, you'll notice that the scheduler, or the little thing there, is gone. Not to worry, it's still, the scheduler is still active. So, here we have, basically you can see it start driving at 6:30 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I've got it set to 22 degrees. Okay, and then my second one here is start driving at 8:30 a.m. on Sundays and Saturdays with no heat. And the reason why I do that is on the weekend I usually don't go to work. But if we're going to go away on Saturday or something, then I will plug it in when I get home from work on Friday and then it'll be charged by 8:30 in the morning. If we're not going to go away, I usually don't plug the car in until Sunday sometime, so it will charge on the first one for me to go to work on Monday. So anyways, let's just go in here and I can show you real quickly what it is. So this is all that the settings are. You tell it departure time, and climate, and here if you want to turn on the defrost for the front window, you can. I don't know if it's the rear defrost also or just the front, but I've never used it because my car is always indoors. But if it's outdoors and it's frosty outside, you might want to have that on also. And then my second one is pretty much the same thing, except I don't have the climate turned on. And that's all that it is. Now, when it's doing this, the heat is coming from your house electricity. It's not coming from the car's battery. So that's a really nice thing, because when you're leaving in the morning, you have a warm car and a 100% full battery, and that's kind of nice. So, but yeah, that's how it is. But as you notice, there's nothing here where I can say only charge to so much. The 2017 doesn't have that. I'll just turn the car off and then I'll continue. So now, like I said, the only thing you need to do is when you come home from work, you got to plug the car in. As long as the car is plugged in, it's going to charge up and it's going to heat up according to your schedule. And that's great. That's what you want. But now let's say you're like me, and every now and then on the weekends, you go to Windsor or London, you do some shopping or whatever, and you need to charge the car up. And they happen to have level 2 charging available. Well, when you go to a level 2 charger now and you plug it in, the car will not start charging. It's going to wait for your scheduler. So in order to get by that, there is a bypass button in the car, and I'll show you that right now. Okay, so I'll open the door, and right over here is this button. So that button there, that bypasses the timer. Only one time though. So it's not like if I push that, it shuts the timer off. It doesn't do that. It only bypasses it once. So what you do, and I'm going to show you in a second, what you do is you plug the car in, and then you walk over to the car and you push that button, and you just hold it for a second. And you'll hear the plug lock in the car, and you'll hear it starting to charge. And so basically you just push the button for a second or so until you hear that click, that noise, and then you can take your finger off. One other note, that it does not apply to level 3 charging. So if you've got your scheduler all set up and you go to a level 3 charger, it's going to start charging automatically. You do not have to bypass the scheduler. The scheduler only works for level 1 and for level 2 charging. It has no effect on level 3 charging whatsoever. So you don't have to worry if you go on a trip somewhere and you plug it into a level 3 charger and you pop into a Tim Hortons for a coffee and, oh man, is it going to charge? It's going to charge. It'll be just fine. So I will show you now how to bypass the charger. So if you want a level 2 charge while you're out and about, while the scheduler is active, this is how you get the car charging. So we're just going to okay, so we're all set. We're going to plug this into here, and you can hear nothing happened, right? Not a thing. So now I'm going to go here. Don't mind my dirty carpet. I got to clean the car. There, I heard the noise, and now if you look here, now it's charging. So that is all that you do. So that's all that there is to get your car charging from a level 2 charger outside of your scheduled charging times. Is you just plug it in, push that button for a second, and you'll hear a click click, and then away she goes. It's all done. You can close the door, lock the car, and do whatever you want. So now some people might not realize right now, if I show you this, okay, it's locked. I cannot unplug that. So your car is charging someplace, McDonald's, whatever. Could be anywhere. What if you want to go? How do you stop your car from charging? Do you hit the e-stop on the charger? No, you don't do that because that could really mess it up. So what you do is you take your key fob. And I know my dealership didn't even know this when I bought the car. I had to show them. And you take your key fob and you push the unlock. And you'll hear it click. And now, and you only have 10 seconds to do this or else it'll lock again. And there it is. Now it's all done. So now the charging is stopped. Okay, I'll just close this up. And I'll just get back in the car where it's warmer. Okay, so anyway, so that's how you do it. Very simple. It's a very handy feature. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite things of this car. Not the favorite part of this car is I don't ever have to buy gas. Stand outside in the middle of the wintertime freezing my butt off. Don't ever have to do that. I don't know why people like gas cars so much and they have to do that. But whatever. So that's it. So I hope you like this video. If you find it interesting, even in the least bit, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment, subscribe, and this is, by the way, this is during COVID-19, so wash your hands and don't touch your face. Bye now.